Hello everybody! This is Christina at Scrapcraft and Stitchery, and I am going to work on the 50 stack challenge for this week. Is 25 and 20 prompts 25 and 26, so we are now halfway done with the 50 stack challenge, and the prompts are gosh, what are they? 25 is coffee dyed paper, so I have this one sheet of coffee dyed paper out of my stash, and the other one is book illustration. So I have this pile of book illustrations, and I was going to maybe scan them in, but they've been sitting in my box for like about 6 months, and I haven't done that. So I'm just gonna look and see. These pages are really super fragile, so I'm just gonna pick something out of here that I like and use it. This was an old history book from I think the 30s, and it has a lot of photographs in it. This one's kind of cool. The skyline of Dallas, Texas, and some maps. Let's see what else we have in here. I'm not really feeling this. I do kind of like a snake fence. Okay. Wall Street. Oh, that's kind of, is that a loom? Ferrying hay across the river on a wagon that's being pulled by like horses. Wow. They probably don't do that today. Okay, let's see what we can find. Ooh, see, some of these are cool. Some of them are just like, you know. The Tom Thumb. Peter Cooper's locomotive has just passed the horse in a trial of speed on the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. Oh, look at that. There's a big windmill. It looks like they're in Holland, but I think this is in Virginia. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can even see any of these pictures. See, I think that's just an absolutely fascinating picture with that big windmill. Very Don Quixote. Let's see. I don't know what else is in here. This might be just this history book. You know, there was a lot of these in here. I already took the cover and used it for something else. Okay. I like the pictures of, like, you know, daily life in the country better than I like the pictures of the dowdy old white men politicians. Okay. The maps are okay. This book is really fragile, so I think I cut this out. That's a piece of a ship. That can be fun to use for something. There are a lot of, like, I might have to find something else to use for. That was a very specific piece that I cut out. Okay. Where did it go? Nobody knows. Okay. I don't even remember doing that, honestly. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Nobody ever checked this book out. That's cool. from Jonesboro, Arkansas. St. Bernardine's Hospital, Benedictine Sisters. I got this in a... Oh, look. It's from 1927. By Ellen and Bacon. Queen Elizabeth. This must be the front of the book. That isn't all his illustration, all right. Okay, so I have this whole thing of this, and the whole thing is this one history book, and at the front and the back I have tied it all together with apparently a pages from another book on the front and on the back to make it look more interesting. Okay. Plus these pages in this book were like really super crumbly and fragile. Queen Elizabeth knighting Drake on the deck of the Royal Hind. Hind. Oh, look, they stamped right on the Spanish galleons. That's kind of cool. I like that. What do you think of this one? I'm kind of excited about that one. Let's do that one. Let's do something with this. See, these are the ones I like. It's just a doorway. Oh, and see, like, there's some things in here. Like, I like this. This is kind of cool. It's an old furniture catalog kind of a thing. Okay. Oh, the birthplace of Washington. The estate known as Wakefield is in Westmoreland County, Virginia. The old house was burned many years ago. That's kind of cool. Ooh, a spinning wheel. Okay. See, this is not as bad as we thought it was. We could do doorways. I am gonna scan these before I use them. How's that sound? And then we might as well use them up. Well, I don't know why I'm going to scan them, because what am I going to do with them, really? Okay. To scan or not to scan? Should I scan these or no?
If you would like. That probably wasn't the answer.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna say no. My goal is to kind of continue to use up book pages, so this is good. So for these, theirs are printed on both sides. I think that this picture, because it's an illustration, is a lot more interesting than the picture of Princeton, so Harvard wins here, which is, I mean, it's kind of nice. It's like, but it is a photograph, and I feel like I just like the illustration better. I am gonna go and make a scan of these, so I might do both sides. We'll see. Because I don't think Princeton's gonna be harmed by me cutting out Harvard. But also I kind of want to put these all down on the scanning bed and take one scan of them because, you know, that makes my life easier. Oh, I cut it too close to the top and there it is. Okay. Look at this. This is so cool. Okay. This is also pretty cool. I don't know what this is. For further reading, check the back. Okay. I mean, this is kind of also kind of a cool list. The birthplace of Washington. But I am going to probably scan these and then use the originals. Because why am I keeping them forever and ever, right? I have them to use them. And it's not like I don't have enough stuff. I have more than enough stuff to not be holding on to everything. I like that just the way it is. This is further reading and fiction, and it's the last of the Mohicans. The story of Tonti. I don't think I've ever heard of that one. The Romance of Dollard. The Seats of the Mighty. The Great Valley Poetry and Evangeline. And this is Fort Ticonderoga. Where is that, Twiggy?
Yes.
Somewhere where there's water. Okay.
They do not know.
And the nonfiction or further reading, I have no interest in, and I'm just going to cut it right off. Okay. Who wants to read history books? Oh, wait. I'm gonna get you trouble. Wonder if I can cut this out. They're lined up. Okay. I think, because there's a door, fancy door on the front and a fancy door on the back. And they line up. The United States is an interesting place, I'll tell you what. Okay, so now we just need we will have to do 2 scans at least because we want both of these doors. That's why. That's why we're doing the scanning, so that we can have both of those doors. I feel like this one feels more homey, but this one's far more ornate and interesting, so I'd probably choose this one if I had to choose one. So that's that answer. Do we want Queen Anne? Not right now. What about Daniel Boone? Oh, Daniel Boone's an interesting guy. I think not right now though. Okay. These are the images that I'm going to leave for myself to work with. So, well guys, I am back. I have scanned my items, and so now I guess the question is, so I've cut this 8.5 by 11 inch paper, and I was kind of thinking about folding it kind of into an envelope, but now I'm not so sure I want to do that. So I'm going to make these be my journal cards. And this is close to the size because this would be 5.5 by 4.25 because it's a 8.5 by 11 sheet cut in half lengthwise. So I think I'm gonna make these into envelopes. I already had these folded because I frequently fold these to make signatures in my books. So I think I'm gonna make this into kind of a pocket or an envelope. So it's probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to go sew around this but I will do that after I decorate them. So these could be used potentially as pockets, or I'm going to make these into kind of floating pockets. I like that idea. They'll be able to be tucked into a pocket, or they could be just clipped onto the side and be used as like a folding pocket. I think they're kind of an interesting size and a shape. Or, I mean, I could attach them onto a card like this. That would be fun to put them onto a card, but I don't think that's what we're going. So I'm going to do the rest of this as a voiceover. So I've sped this up a little bit. You'll notice I'm going a little bit faster. I didn't speed it up too much. You can see Grim up here keeping an eye on me. So I decided that the next thing I wanted to do for these was to kind of do a collage on these, the outside of these journaling cards, journaling pockets. I don't know what I'm calling these. I guess they're kind of a floating journal card, mini journal maybe. I don't know. I guess they're envelopes really, right? So because they have a flap and you open them up and then you can write inside, and some envelopes are like that where you have the address and stuff on the outside, but then the envelope opens and you have the letter. So I think these are kind of envelope. So I have a lot of book page that I am trying to work my way through. So I'm finding lots of uses for book page, and here I'm just gonna put a book page panel on the front and back side of my journaling envelopes to add a little bit of interest to my copy dyed paper and just kind of fill in a little bit. So I tore this book page down using my decal edged ruler, and now I'm just kind of filling in. And for this card I didn't really overfill it. I just, picked one of these doorways to these pictures, these gorgeous illustrations from this book, and layered it over that. And I felt like, I really liked the way the book page looked with that reference section with all the names listed, so I didn't want to cover a lot of that up. So I just kind of put the doorway there. It felt like it was maybe then, I don't know, kind of the entryway to a library or something. It's a very fancy doorway, and I don't know, it just kind of seemed like it was a library doorway or the gateway to knowledge. With all that heavy text. And I just picked a couple more images that I really liked for the other side. And I've already tore all these out of the book off camera, because I'm sure you guys know how to use scissors. You don't need me to show you that. I think that this house is the birthplace of George Washington. It's a very, I don't know, just pastoral scene. I really liked that black and white image. I think it's actually a drawing. I'll have to look at it again. It kind of almost looks like it's a photograph. And then there was just this reference, further reading in the book that was one of the things that I had cut out, and I just really liked that, so I used it to cover the flap. And this, again, this book is really neat because it's got a little bit, like, it's glossy, but the pages have become very, very fragile over time, so they just kind of break apart. It's hard to glue them down. But I managed somehow to persevere and get it done. I have to stop and read everything. See if I want to cut out any words. This is, my goodness, I use up a lot of time just kind of like playing with my things. It's very fun. And now I'm just, I think, missed some places inking in here. These are really fun cards. I'm gonna leave the inside of the cards pretty much blank. Sometimes I wanted to leave these open for journaling spaces, so I'm just gonna decorate the outside. I do stamp this typewriter stamp there, just because I thought it was an interesting thing and it kind of went with my, I don't know. I don't know that I really have a theme going on with this, but I guess it suggests that you should write there. And I'm just going to use one of these extra pieces of book page just to cover the flap here, and then I will put a couple of these little images that I cut out from the book. I just really love these little bits of things of, you know, everyday life. There's a one of the little illustrated things was like furniture, and one of them was just kind of like everyday tools and items. So there's at the bottom a Chippendale armoire or sideboard, and that middle one is a candle mold for making pouring candles, and I think that top one is some sort of a lamp. I couldn't really tell what that one was. Anyway, I guess that's that. I seem to have, you'll have to wait to see the end. My goodness, the cats are making noise. Sorry about that. So for the other one, I was just going to make 2 using the book pages and do the same ones, but I decided I wanted to do something with a little bit more color. So I found this magazine page, and this is from a stamping magazine. And I just have a folder of magazine images basically, and this was the top thing that I pulled out, and I was like, oh well, this will work well. Love this bird, she's very beautiful. My cat Grim there has been tonight just really super needy and clingy. We love him to death, but there he is. Anyway, so I used this bird, and then I did some doodles on the top, and this is just a Zentangle pattern that I was doing a couple of weeks ago. I didn't really look at it again, I just kind of drew it from memory, so it is what it is. Haha. I had fun with it, and it was fun. And I picked this color just to kind of match the bird on the other side, so that was nice. So today I'm going to post this on Friday for Flip Through Friday, which is hosted by Gwen the Trash Witch, because you can do a flip through of a journal or a book or something, and I have flipped through all of these history book pages, and I'm putting a little twist on my Flip Through Friday today, and that is I'm actually going to do a project as well as a flip through. So this is my history book flip through of a history book from 1927, and Flip Through Friday is hosted by Gwen the Trash Witch, and she is absolutely fabulous, so please check out, if you're interested, her Flip Through Friday series. You can follow the hashtag Flip Through Friday, and or go to her channel and find out more. There's lots of creators who do show all kinds of work, and this is also hashtag 50 stack challenge, which is hosted by Amy at Crafty Cat, and she is fabulous and does some of the most amazing things. She does a lot of picking a design that she sees from, you know, Pinterest or Somerset magazine, or even I think she started as seen on YouTube, and she will take something that someone else has designed and recreate it and go through all of the steps, and it's very interesting to watch her do that. She also has an Etsy shop where she sells some gorgeous digitals. So I didn't want to waste this lady. I didn't think much about this illustration when I was choosing which side of this I wanted to use, but then I looked at this and I really love coffee, and this says, with enough coffee, I think I could take over the world, at least temporarily, and I've probably completely butchered that, but I liked that, so I decided to save her and put her on the other side. And this is a piece of beautiful deli paper that I jelly printed the other day. You have seen me working on top of these all night, all through this video, so I finally dig into that pile because it's just too tempting not to. This one is, yes, it's got a little bit of copper paint stamped onto it, and I think it's done with Ancient Mariner, I think, paint. Yeah, I think so. Uncharted Mariner, which is a Tim Holtz color. And this strip, in order to not lose anything, that's the strip that I pulled off of the side of the bird card because it was bigger than I wanted, so I was able to use that. And these two things don't really relate to each other, but I just really kind of like they go together. They both have kind of that orange color in them, and the blue, it all ties together quite nicely color wise, and I just really like both of these images, so it all worked out for me, and I was happy because I got to do a little bit of doodling. And now I'm just gonna make a closure for these, and I have some punches. These are actually punched out of security envelopes, so that's the inside of the envelope that you see, which is this really cool, I don't know, checkered pattern. Let's see. So I am finding an eyelet. I have to look at every single one to see which ones I want to use, of course. I have a lot of really interesting ones. Some of them are like baby bottles and carriages and things for a shower. And I have far less of the practical ones that are like, you know, burnished brass and silver. I have more someplace else. But, you know, this one's fun. And so I'm just going to put an eyelet on each of these. I just really love how those colors like go together on this. So I just found some cord in my stash. I'm checking to make sure that I like the colors with this, but I mean the colors are pretty spot on. It kind of has the orange in it, it's got the green. The green, as you can see, really kind of goes with the green. So I just loop it through. And there you go. Kind of a little bulky. I think that's okay. It will encourage me to make books that have fewer pages so that I can put in more ephemera. That is my goal for next year, I think. Make books that are a reasonable number of pages and stuff them full of ephemera. I think that's a wonderfully happy goal. So those are my 2 cards. That is coffee dyed paper and book illustration. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to like this video, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and check out the hashtags. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.